Zukwanu Nike. Zukwanu Nike. I have been seeing the comments everywhere about Alex Ekubo'S service of songs. Some people have been criticizing the outfit at the event. Some are asking, is this a fashion show or a morning event? Others are saying, why all this decoration? Why celebrate someone who is not even old? But I will start by asking you a simple question. Just a better question. Do you expect people to wear rags before you consider them mourners? So when you're mourning, your own shows on the outfit. It shows on the outfit, right? Even in many families, when there is a burial, people wear uniform fabrics, the one we call ashwebi. Everyone sews theirs differently according to their taste and ability. Dressing well does not mean you are not mourning. The Bible never said people should dress or look shabby before they can reflect on death. No! Ecclesiastes 7:2 says, it is better to go to a house of mourning than to go to a house of feasting. For death is the destiny of everyone. The living should take that to heart. Notice what scripture is saying. The purpose of you going to the house of mourning is not fashion policing. You're not there to go and see who wears this or what they wear or what you are supposed to put on. It is reflection. It is a reminder that one day people will gather for you too. It is a reminder to retrace your step. Abandon hatred. Stop plotting against people. Stop looking for people to pull down and start living a life that matters. That is the purpose of going to such events. Now let me address the second argument. Those saying, why celebrate a life that ended so young? You see, that thinking misses the point completely. It misses the point completely. Celebration of life is not determined by age. It is determined by impact. A lot of you don't understand this. When they say celebration of life, you think it is by how long the person lived, or maybe someone who is 100. It is not determined by age. It is determined by impact. That is why it is called celebration of life. A person can live 100 years and leave behind nothing but bitterness, wickedness, and wasted opportunities. Another person can live for 40 years and leave behind kindness, wisdom, influence, and transformed lives. Ecclesiastes 6 speaks about a man who lives many years, yet does not find fulfillment. Longevity alone is not the measure of a successful life. Now, the real question is not how long did you live? The real question is, did you fulfill your purpose? Did you empty yourself of what God placed inside you? Did you leave people better than you met them? Did people merely met you or they encounter you? Did you hear the testimonies about Alex Ekubo, about the life he lived, the impact he made? Those were what celebrated. Jesus himself did not live to an old age. He began his ministry around 30 and fulfilled his assignment within a few years. Yet over 2,000 years later, his impact remains. The tears at his death did not erase the fact that his mission was accomplished. Nobody is praying to die young. I reject that for myself. I reject it for my children. I reject it for my family. I reject it for you that is listening. I reject it for everyone listening to me. But the truth remains. Your life is not measured by the number of years you lived. It is measured by the value you added while you were here. An African proverb says, the sun that shines brightly for a short time is remembered longer than a lamp that flickers for years. Another proverb says, it is not the length of the journey that matters. It is the footprint left behind. And remember this, when a good tree falls, the whole village feels the shade that is gone. That is just the truth. It is normal. So instead of jumping from one page to another, criticizing who wore what, ask yourself a harder question. If your own day comes, what will people gather to say about you? Will there be stories of impact? Will there be testimonies of kindness? Will there be evidence that your life mattered? Or will people simply gather because tradition demands it? And whether someone dies at 30, 40, 50, 80, 120, those who love them will still feel the loss. Even those who pass at a very old age leave a space that can never be completely filled. My grandfather and my grandmother, imagine since they passed on, anytime we gather at the village, we always miss them. I remember my father saying, wow, so we don't become orphan. Even though they were over 100 years before they passed on, we still miss them. So it's not about the age. It is normal. The pain is normal. The tears are normal. Missing them is normal. But if they lived well, made impact, touched lives, and fulfilled purpose, then yes, their life deserves to be celebrated. And that is why it is called celebration of life. So stop dragging people because they dressed well. Stop dragging people because there were decorations. Stop dragging people because they chose to celebrate a life that touched them. A lot of you are hypocrites. These things you see online that you're dragging, criticizing, you do it in your families. Don't we all do it? You wear ashebi, you dress well, you wear your high heel. The men have their beard cut. What is wrong with you all? Why these double standards? Stop dragging people because they do the same thing. Instead, use that moment to reflect, because one day people will gather for you too. And on that day, the question will not be how old you were. The question will be what you did with the life you were given. I know some of you will disagree with this, and that is your right. But truth does not bend to emotions. Truth does not bow to feelings. Truth does not adjust itself to public opinions, personal bias, or social media trends. Scripture remains scripture whether it is popular or not, and whether you agree or disagree. One truth remains: every one of us is preparing for the day when others will gather and speak about the life we lived. The question is not when you will leave. The question is what you will leave behind. This is just the truth. Whether accepted or not, whether applauded or attacked, truth remains truth. Truth first. Feelings later, no negotiation.